Andrew's on his way over here.
Hi, I'm over here.
He missed the countdown like a loser.
Sorry. Mother Nature called. She doesn't leave good messages.
Hey! Sakura! GDR!
Sorry, can you get back up and get my...
Okay!
Hey! Sakura-kan!
I can.
Okay, so tonight's live stream will be... Well, that's not what it will be. That is our amazing news for tonight. I love how you couldn't be bothered to draw it. You just found it on the internet.
Good.
So we just found out that we got accepted into SakuraCon. So yay! We've been trying to get into SakuraCon for 3 years now. So that is... Sorry, I'm adjusting the mic still, so it's gonna be a little weird for a second. Is that good? That good for you, Andrew? You close enough? Cool.
Works for me.
Okay. Anyway, for 3 years we've been trying to get into SakuraCon, and we just got the confirmation today that we were okay to be in the vendor hall. So, still haven't signed the contract or anything, but it's looking like we are going to SakuraCon. So, anyone in SakuraCon territory, where's SakuraCon?
Washington.
Anyone in Washington going to SakuraCon watching this? We will
Washington, the state,
Yeah.
not
No,
Washington, D.C.
No, DC's a different state.
That's in Maryland.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was its own state.
It's
No.
its own district.
Can't they, like, not vote, though?
They can vote.
They can vote. Well, no, they don't have representation.
Yeah, I don't think they can vote.
Yeah, they don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want lobbying within Washington D.C. So they don't have delegates.
Oh.
Yeah. Fun bit of trivia for you.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, SakuraCon ikimasu. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And anyway, in other news, tonight's live stream will be Steven Universe. Yay! We've been wanting to do the fusions for a while, but we weren't caught up on the Summer of Steven for most of the time that it was happening, and people kept saying that there was a new fusion that we didn't know about, and we were kind of waiting to find out what it was before we drew any fusions. And now that we do know, we're still a little iffy on if we actually want to draw that certain fusion that we'll rename unnamed, just in case there's any listeners out there that have not caught up on Steven Universe, which if you haven't, you should. It is an amazing series. But anyway, so we've caught up on Steven Universe. We're going to draw some fusions at the very least. The more complicated fusions we're not going to be doing during the live stream because we try to do less complicated characters during this, so you guys don't have to sit through us redrawing the same 4 lines like 50 times. So we will be doing Stefani, I think is what we're starting out with here.
Yep. So we'll be starting out tonight with Stefani. We will then be going with Lion, and then if we have time, Onion.
Yep.
So, and then the rest of the
Onion
fusions.
because Onion's my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Onion's adorable. He's one of our favorites. And from what we've gathered, he seems to be a fan favorite as well. We've had a fair amount of requests for Onion, actually. I've had a couple. Yeah.
I think I've had one.
Maybe you just look like the type of person that would want to talk about Onion.
It's entirely possible. But anyway, so we'll be doing those for the live stream. For the Kickstarter, however, we will be doing the rest of the fusions, aside from possibly the latest one. We're not positive. We try to keep things relatively spoiler-free, so we're not positive if that's a character that we want to do. But if you think about it, pretty much any of the fusions could be considered.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, what's the Pearl and Amethyst fusion? Is this something... I don't know, Pearl Amethyst fusion was like the 2nd episode, so... Is that Sardonyx? No, Sardonyx is Pearl and Garnet. I don't know the names of gemstones, that's a thing about me. I've been learning them slowly through watching Steven Universe, but the fusions don't appear often enough for me to remember all of their names, so I have no idea. Oh, I love that black hole in her stomach. That was good. Yeah. Anyway, so... that one appeared, like, episode 2, so I guess that's probably not very spoilery. But I guess it also depends on, like, how much, like, how you saw the series. Like, so when Brittany and I first drew the Steven Universe set, we had seen Steven Universe, but we'd seen it on and off on Cartoon Network. We had no idea that there was, like, an overarching story of any sort until someone was like, you have to just sit down and watch it. And we did. We were like, oh, this actually has a really cool overarching storyline. And we got super into it, and now I am just obsessed with Steven Universe right now. It is the best show. I mean, I know it's not your favorite, Andrew, but we've talked about favorites.
Don't get me wrong. We've talked quite a bit about our difference in taste, and I certainly enjoy Steven Universe, and I love watching it. But I certainly wouldn't. There are things about it I don't care for as much as some other things.
Yeah.
But no, I absolutely love Steven Universe.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like I'm being really cliched, being like it's so progressive, and I love that about it. But I do love that about it. But for me, more than it being progressive, I love seeing things using a given medium, but then doing something out of the norm for that medium. For example, Madoka Magica is a magical girl anime, and it very much presents itself as a magical girl anime, so you expect that stereotype and everything to be under that stereotype, and it's nothing like that. American cartoons are starting to be the same way, where a lot of cartoons are, you expect it to be just a silly, goofy adventure, and it's not. It's tackling some really heavy issues and some real problems.
Yeah, I think, looking at it, I think that's something that a lot of American cartoons haven't really done so much. You know what I mean? I don't know what that is so much. Like, just comparing it from, an American versus Japanese standpoint. Because my initial thought went to, consumerism and how a lot of, like, the shows from my childhood, at least, were made, or at least made popular, purely so that they could push product. I don't know.
That kind of makes sense, but you have to look at, like...
Right, but at the same time, it's not like stuff in Japan was not made so, it could make product.
A lot of it wasn't, though. A lot of... I'm gonna get on my soapbox here for a little bit. I actually wrote an essay on this in college. But I think
You wrote an essay on anime?
No, I wrote an essay on cultural differences between America and Japan in the media.
You
So I wrote an essay. It was actually a thesis for my English final, and it was like the first year of college, so it wasn't like a big deal. But I wrote an essay on how... What? Okay, so it wasn't...
Oh, no.
I was like, yeah, I did. You don't know me. Okay, anyway, on how the main difference that I can see, or one of the main differences between American media and Japanese media is the way we look at fan art. I think that the reason that there's so much more new original stuff in Japan and not just reboots of the same series over and over again is because when artists are starting out and doing fan art, they encourage them and they scout those talents to then make something new. Whereas in America, we crush those talents beneath our heels and say, you can't do that. That's someone else's thing. Whereas in Japan, it's a huge honor to have fan art made of your work. But, I think a lot of it really is just the way we look at art and what we value in that.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that really does make a lot of sense. I know I saw that in Japan a fair amount, actually. Like signs for schools and, street crossings and things like that would have... Pokemon or Doraemon or, Anpanman or, a variety of, like, kids show stuff. It's stuff that they can use pretty unabashedly and not have to worry about any legal repercussions. And I really do think that it channels a lot into it. And in America, we watched a couple different things about it and about how the copyright law has just been absolutely screwed over, specifically by the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is sad. So many of our greatest and most beloved characters of all time come from other stories. And it's really kind of ironically hypocritical that Disney is the one propagating extended copyright.
I know. Although, if there's any aspiring fan artists out there watching this, just so you know, it's bullcrap when people tell you that Disney will sue you for having any sort of fan art. Disney will sue you if you have something that's clearly an exact replica of something that they already sell, or something that you made using their actual licensed images, or anything that has their logo on it. Basically, fan art is okay with almost everyone, like excluding a few specific creators, unless you're specifically trying to make your fan art look like it's official merchandise, and therefore steal sales from the actual company, if that makes sense. What they're protecting is their actual merchandise, not really their characters so much. Although, when it comes to movie making, they are very much defending their characters. Do not animate anything with any Disney character.
Yeah, it's a certain amount of stepping on their toes. And I'd imagine if you got large enough, like, I am absolutely positive that Vinyl Pop and Funko, that they have licenses for all of the things that they do.
They have to, because they have
exactly.
the names on their packaging, which means that they are associated with that company.
Right. So, I mean, for things like that, even if they didn't have the names on them, with how large they are, they would certainly run legal repercussions. But for the most part, nobody's going to care. If someone really cares, they'll hand you a cease and desist.
Yeah.
And you listen to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you listen to it, yes. If someone hands... For those of you who are following us, if we ever receive a cease and desist, we will absolutely and immediately comply with every single one of them. Because we understand, as artists, we understand people wanting to protect their works. A lot of time and effort goes into these things, and if they feel that we're infringing upon their territory, then we will respectfully back off. So I feel so much of the art community is more asking forgiveness than permission. Once you get large enough, you absolutely need the permission first. But when it comes to the smaller things, I don't know. There seems to be an overall feeling and just general mood of trust that I can really enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know this is a bit of a touchy subject for me, just because I hear all the time, isn't what you're doing illegal? Like, no, it's not. Read a book. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I tell you I went to FedEx during a convention to restock some chibi badges, and the guy told me he couldn't print it because I was bootlegging, and was like, you don't understand what bootlegging is. Like, I tore him a new one. I was really not in a good mood. Brittany actually had to stop me from saying something, like, way too rude. But
yeah, well, it was also in the middle of a convention, which, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love conventions. I love spending time at them, but it is a job for us as well. It is really demanding.
Really stressful.
At the end of the day, we are exhausted.
Not ready to hear someone just tell me that I'm the equivalent of someone just going on Google, looking up an image, taking the first not even high res, just the first image that comes up and putting it on a button. That is bootlegging. That is illegal. We are making all of our work. These chibis are ours. They don't look like anything official. By the way, if you are scared of anyone suing you, Steven Universe is completely 1000% okay with fan art. Among all of the amazing things that Rebecca Sugar has done for the world, one of the big ones is she openly acknowledges and encourages fan art, even if you're selling it. So, that's good. Which, if I'm not mistaken, she actually started out as a convention artist, or, did it part-time in, high school or something.
I don't know. I haven't read anything about that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I feel like I read that somewhere. Then again, I don't really source check things I see on Tumblr, so... I actually thought that the phone case that came with an airbag was a real thing, until you were like, Emily, no. So,
wait, it's not a real thing?
No.
Dang it.
No, it's not.
Neither
is that Swan phone holder.
Too bad.
I know. I desperately wanted one of those. Mm-hmm. I believe they actually had something like that in Bobobo.
They would.
So
the Swan phone holder?
Yeah. No, Bobobo.
Like
have I told you about Bobobo?
Yes.
Or the premise of it, basically?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Attack of the random.
Exactly. Random equals power, more or less.
I'd like to. We should watch it sometime.
We should definitely watch it at some point. I watched a little bit. I had a college roommate who showed me a good amount of Bobobo, but that's all the more I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this week we have been watching Voltron, which has been just phenomenal. I mean, so I saw like a few episodes, maybe the first 2 episodes, was it? Or was it just the first one? No, because the first one was really long. But anyway, while staying with a friend, I watched some Voltron, but they were walking back and forth in front of the TV and talking the entire time, so the captions were on, but I couldn't read them because they kept walking back and forth, so I didn't really get anything out of
we
it.
love these friends, don't get us wrong.
Oh yeah, no, they're
We do.
amazing, but it wasn't the best.
Set
I
up
had
to
no
watch
idea what was going on. So actually being able to sit down and watch it has been really fun. Andrew, this is your first experience with it at all, right?
Indeed, it has been.
It's-
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
I enjoy a good mech anime. Like growing up, I really wasn't allowed to get into the color-coded hero genre. Like I wasn't able to see Power Rangers. I didn't get to see Ninja Turtles.
Seriously?
Yeah, no.
I saw Ninja Turtles.
Nope, I
Where
never got.
was that?
I was never a part of the color-coded hero genre. So for me, Voltron is a brand new thing. I didn't get to see Transformers growing up either. None of it aired on the public television that we had. At least not at any time that we could see it.
I guess that makes sense.
So I don't know. To me,
I
it's...
know Mom was just flat out against Ninja Turtles, though. I think it was just a matter of violence,
It certainly could be.
It was not violent.
wasn't it?
No.
Didn't they do ninja moves or something?
They did ninja moves, and like once in a while they'd like tap someone.
And they'd explode into a gory mess.
No, they wouldn't. They just,
Just- it's-
and fall over.
Bam,
Yeah,
bam.
but they were still hitting people. Bear in mind, Brittany, Pokemon was too violent when it first came out.
That's true. The only reason we were allowed to play Pokemon was because it taught us memorization skills. We weren't allowed to watch the anime at first, but then Mom got us the games, and after seeing just how into it we were and how it was helping us with like memory retentive skills. Sorry, I should be talking into the microphone.
You really should
Yeah, okay.
be.
So we weren't allowed to watch Pokemon when it first came out, but we did get the games when they first came out, like on our old brick Game Boys. Like not even in color. I think you had red and I had yellow, and the only difference was a Pikachu because there was no color on these old Game Boys. So anyway, when we were playing those, our mom saw that they were teaching us really good memorization skills. We were able to talk about, like, we remembered all the names of these things and the stats and when they evolved, when they were teaching us good strategy stuff. And so she decided that the pros of that outweighed the cons of it being more about violence, and then was more okay with getting into the house. And then I think she just liked the anime because it was just a bunch of fun, so.
It was really fun. We still weren't, like, even when I was a teen, I was probably, around 16 when we tried to buy Pokemon Stadium. And
Seriously?
yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I tried to buy Pokemon Stadium. We went out to get an old Nintendo 64. So I went out to buy it, and she said absolutely not. And I had, I bought a game, and the dude had like 17 copies of Pokemon Stadium. He literally just threw one in the bag for me to take home. And of course, my mom did not believe that. But I mean, you know, she was great. She listened to us. She heard us out, heard our side of the story. We talked it over, and eventually she was okay with it.
Andrew, well, sorry, you can get out easier than I can. Can you go get Brittany some water? She's getting
Absolutely.
sick. Yeah. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties here. Again, we're all crowded in this tiny little work area. So good news is we do have a bigger workspace now that we're going to be moving into after we're not super busy getting ready for Bonsai. Because we may or may not have talked about this. I don't remember. Remember, that's her shield. That's not part of her hair.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so that is a shield. That's not part of the hair. Is what I just reminded Brittany, and she's like, "Oh my god!" Anyway, what was I saying? We will be moving into a new workspace after Bonsai, because I don't know if I said this, but after Bonsai happens, we have do we have 2 weeks after? No, we have 1 week and then 1 week.
Oh, no.
No, we have one 2 days after Bonsai.
Yes.
And then a
We
week.
have two days after Bonsai.
Oh, we have two days after Bonsai, sorry. And then a week.
Thanks,
And then just like back-to-back shows like till the end of the Kickstarter. So what we're doing right now is we're developing, we're doing an entire, like 3 entire stocks of chibi badges and trying to get them all made and organized and just like up on a. We have like a what is that called? Like a hook system, like a shelving system. What is that called? When you got the pegboard and you got the thing on it with the wire.
I would just say a simple pegboard system.
Okay.
It's a big board with lots of holes and the pegs coming out of them, and we
Like
hang
really
stuff on the
long
pegs.
Yeah. So we've got them all hung up and organized. Is what we're trying to get, so that between these conventions we can just walk in here, grab the ones we need, and then go. Because we're not going to have time to do restock between all of these, especially when we're being spread thin by having to split up between different conventions. So, at the moment, though, the 3 stocks that we do have, we have 3 separate stocks that we bring with us to different conventions. And right now, they're all in fairly decent shape. We need to do a bit of restock on Blue and Sparkle, but...
Not horrible, actually.
Yeah, not bad. And I finished up Tan. Tan is good to go. So that's good. But yeah, so we're working on getting that done. Andrew has just finished our Kickstarter video this morning.
It looks
Yep.
so good.
And when we say this morning, we mean I got to sleep at around 5, just because I love Adobe, I do, but every so often,
It
I'd-
messes up.
yeah, it messes up. I work specifically within After Effects, which does have a lot of things going on, so I understand. But it uses a piece of software that's called Dynamic Link. Sorry, just real quick, Brittany. Note on that. You are doing the blue overshirt, right?
No, I'm doing
Stefani's
this one.
blue overshirt. She has a blue overshirt in every time she has combined.
Oh, yeah.
Not every time. The
Yeah, no, I'll
latest
do
time,
the
I
blue
think she
overshirt,
didn't.
though.
Nope. In this last one we just watched, she did. I paid
she?
attention. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Not to mention all the cosplayers that I've seen of Stefani
That's true.
have had it. I really do think we need to add that in.
Okay, I am.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry, my stream's a little bit delayed, so I can't tell exactly when you're adding it in. But anyways, yeah, so Adobe uses a piece of software called Dynamic Link, which is actually really handy when it all works, when it's not haunted by Adobe demons. But it allows you to move between Premiere, After Effects, and Media Encoder fairly seamlessly, and really does work quite well for that. It maintains editability, which is my huge thing. That's actually why I started looking into graphic design over traditional arts, was I enjoyed being able to go in and tweak things as I was moving along. I enjoyed retaining editability. That's why I still use Illustrator over Photoshop when I can, is just because I like being able to preserve maximum editability at all times. Editability. Did I say it right, or was I stuttering at some point?
No, I
It's
think-
a fun word.
It's
That
a
is
fun
not a
word.
jab at anyone who stutters. We love you and support you. That being said, every so often I will just get halfway through a word and my brain completely shuts down. I've forgotten
I do that
any
at
and everything.
cons. I'll be talking to people and I'll just have to buy for a get free.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone who's put up with tired us at conventions, by the way. I'm sure we're not the best to be around.
Yeah, we're hopefully not the worst, but I'm sure we certainly could be more awake and attentive at most conventions.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
but yeah, Kickstarter video is done. We'll have to see potentially next week, depending on how things are going. We may have an unlisted YouTube sneak peek / preview for you guys next week. We'll have to see, but we may let you guys see it just a couple days early.
Yeah. Who do you need next? Is Lion, right?
All right, so it looks
Yay.
like Stefani here is done. I keep
Yay.
on wanting to call it Stefani. I don't
Gwen
know why.
Stefani.
Yeah, that's it. That's why. Friggin' Gwen Stefani. That's why. It's Stefani, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. Actually, I think I call it that because of the Stefani chocolates. Like the cocoa Stefani. They have like the nice flavored hot chocolates.
Yeah, I think I blew someone's mind at a convention one time when, like, before I knew Stefani was a thing, because I was early on in the series, or maybe that was before I started binging it from the start. But anyway, they were asking if I had, like, Stefani, And I was like, you mean Stephanie? I was like, oh my gosh. Were they going for Stephanie? Like, I don't know. What is this? But yeah, I wonder if originally they were going to call her Stephanie, and then they were like, Stevani sounds cooler. But
It's possible. I'm quite certain that it just came from the fact that Steven is spelled with a V and not an F.
yeah.
That would be my general conclusion there.
Maybe. I don't know. I was in my mind whenever I read it, I'm like Stephanie, and then I'm like, no, wait, no, Stevani. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just super used to all these people naming their kids normal things and then spelling them ridiculously. Cough, Brittany's family cough.
What the heck?
Cough pretty much all of Utah. For those of you who are outside of Utah, I don't know if it's just a Utah thing, but it certainly is prevalent in Utah where people will make normal names with...
Volcano bake meat.
I was gonna get away with that one.
I said make. It just so happened that my nose stuffed up at that exact moment. But yeah, you're
He's
welcome to
making a
rub
crucial M. Quick, get to the nostrils.
Either way, parents choose their children's names. They'll choose a normal name, but then they'll give it a strange spelling. I had a friend growing up who his parents, they both had 8-letter names, so they decided to give all of their kids 8-letter names, but then they chose non-8-letter names like Tyler and Travis. And so it was like Tylirre. I still remember junior high graduation, they called his... So, I won't give last names, but he had a fairly normal last name that he made... I'll just pretend it was Smith. So, the first name was Trevise, since that's how his name was spelled, Travisse. And then the last name was a normal last name, but apparently since the first name was weird, the last name had to be too, so it was like Trevise Smythe.
Good.
I mean, obviously that's not the exact name, but...
But yeah, if there's one weird name, it's gotta be both. Yeah, I had a friend in elementary school whose name was Ketavan, and she was awesome. She was from Georgia, the country, I believe. I don't know what it was with the exact place we lived, but we had a lot of people from, like, a lot further than... Like, when we lived in Layton, we were right by the Air Force Base, so we had a lot of people from everywhere because we were by the Air Force Base. But when we lived in Salt Lake, there was no reason for it. It just, we had a really culturally diverse class growing up, and I really appreciate that, actually, because I don't know, I feel like it was a good experience. I don't know. But anyway, so Ketavan, poor girl, her name was never pronounced correctly, and she was almost always, whenever she got some sort of... She was a smart kid. So she got, like, a bunch of awards and stuff during school, and whenever they called her up for an, like, during an assembly to give her an award, they never once called her up with the girls. They always called her up with the guys, because I guess Ketavan just looks like a really mannish name. I don't know. You'd think after the first time scarring that poor kid for life, they would, like, make a note somewhere, like, Ketavan is a girl, but they didn't. And I every time she just got so mad. I felt so bad for her. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Well, and now we're reaching this interesting new stage where people are just unafraid to name their children strange things like hashtag.
Oh, that's true.
So, especially like book characters as well. I have to wonder in, like 10 years, how much of a resurgence we'll have of, what was the baby's name in Twilight?
Oh.
Renesmee. That was it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder.
For some reason, my mind said Schmendrick, and I was like,
That's Schmendrick!
That's not it, I don't think.
Emily, Brittany, please name your children Schmendrick. All of them.
All
All of them.
Boys, girls, everything. They're all Schmendrick. And their dog is the magician. Good.
We'll have a pirate cat, too.
Oh, yeah, we've got to have a pirate cat. That's a very important family member that every family needs. Yeah, it's like there's a meme that's been going around Tumblr forever, like, oh, geez, what is it, like, teacher taking role in 2025, Jeffrey, here, Holly, here. Naruto here. It's totally gonna happen. You know it is.
No,
Oh, it
there's already
absolutely
a
is.
child named Naruto. Like, there's
Oh,
already
there's
one.
sure.
several children named Naruto, I'm sure. But
Oh, it's so funny, though.
I know. Well, so Brittany and I, we were talking to her mom about like stuff that she didn't want to name her kids, and so we're like, of course, like, oh yeah, we're gonna name our kids that. And the one that like her dad really liked, that her mom really didn't like, was Leviticus, and then like he can go by Levi, and we were both like, oh, that's a really cool name. And then at the same time, we both remembered like, no, we can't do that. There's a Levi in Attack on Titan. No one would ever think that we didn't name our kid after that Levi.
That's true. There's also something about you guys picking a specifically Old Testament name that feels kind of strange.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Mom would get offended.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah, so for both reasons, we probably will not be having a little Leviticus in our house.
I still think Miklio's a good name.
We can't name our kid Mikleo.
I still think you can keep the Levi and just name him Leviathan.
No, we still can't call our kid Levi because everyone, every time they see him, will be like, da 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 da, you know, because they're all gonna grow up with Attack on Titan.
Then just
Every
call him
single
by
person.
Yeah.
Then just call her by her full name of Leviathan.
Her.
Her. It's a her. I'm trying to be non-gender specific here.
Good. We're
I'll switch it up.
by switching it mid-sentence. Here.
No. But seriously, you could do that and then have their middle name be the Great Destroyer.
Yeah, no one will ever think that it's Levi. Which, you know, I read a thing, so we were watching Bible Camp, and, like, there was this one kid with a mullet, so we're like, ha, Levi, that's funny. His name's Levi. You know, like Levi from Attack on Titan. So, kid in... Sorry, I need to get closer to the microphone, is what Andrew's telling me. So, kid in Bible Camp who had, like, this really weird... Oh, no, it wasn't a mullet. It was a rat tail. That's right. It has just, like, this ridiculous hair or something.
It was a mullet and a rat tail.
Oh, it was both. Okay, it was a mullet rat tail. Anyway, and his name's Levi, and we're all laughing, like, ha, Levi, like Levi, you know. And then later we were watching, like, did you know about Attack on Titan? Hey. Apparently Levi from Attack on Titan was named after Rat Tail Mullet Kid. So that's a thing that happened.
I want you to know that your phone thought it said, okay, Google. Dang it! Right, and it's looked up rat noises.
Oh, good. At some point, the phone that Brittany is, like, trying to get reference pictures on here picked up my talking and thought I said the words that Google will listen to start looking up things, and looked up rat noises. So instead of reference pictures, she's got rat noises to go off of now. And she was trying to, like, whisper to me that this happened to not mess up her pictures again, and then it picked her up doing that. So that's what that scream of agony was there. It was technical difficulties, man. What a hard life you live.
I know!
These first world problems are just the worst.
Shoot.
I thought Lion's nose was a little mouth.
Oh, that
just this little heart-shaped mouth.
Put, like, little like, fangs in there. It's like, I really want to learn more about Lion one of these days.
Right?
Me too. They kind of teased at it in recent episodes. I won't say any more for anyone who may not be caught up.
More than that, though, they definitely teased about a return of Blue Diamond or some sort of story with Blue Diamond, which I'll have to talk to you later about how that might tie in with a Connie theory I read about.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, I don't know. I love theorizing about stuff. Can we take a moment to talk about Sister Location?
I was just thinking the same thing.
We will try very hard not to spoil anything for anyone. If you have not already, Markiplier has played all through the game and gotten the good and the bad and I'm not sure which is which ending. He's gotten the endings. Good or bad. Anyway, Mark's played it, so you can watch Markiplier play it. I think you can also watch PewDiePie, and you can also watch Jacksepticeye, and you can also watch basically anyone. Everyone's playing Sister Location. It's phenomenal. It is an amazing game. I'm I'm so glad this world was blessed with Scott Cawthon.
Me too. And
Jesus.
I really love what he did with Sister Location. Okay, we'll try to keep things spoiler free here, but I really feel that he did a lot to vitalize the gameplay, to reimagine a lot of things. He expands on some of the lore. He adds, as he's done with all of his game, he answers like 5 questions and then deals out an extra 24.
I know,
It's always just so much more to theorize about.
And my favorite thing, something I've been secretly hoping for the entire franchise was, well, I was actually hoping that you could, like, through the game actually play as an animatronic, which didn't happen this time, hopefully some point, but you did actually get to communicate with an animatronic. You got to understand some of what the animatronics are kind of, not necessarily what they're thinking, because they're computers, but what their process is, I guess, their motivation. I don't know, it's weird to say that even, because, like, do the robots have free will? We don't know, per se, but I don't know. Anyway, it's been just phenomenal to be able to get that look into that side of the lore, because we've never seen them as anything besides just monsters. You know, and even in the mini games, you know, where it's like, oh, they're trying to save the children, you know, that still doesn't tell us anything about the why. It's just what they're doing. We've always seen them do things, but we've never had anything behind it. So Sister Location delving into that aspect of the story is just amazing for me, and I absolutely love it. I loved Sister Location. And, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of horror. Andrew and I both, we've talked about this. We showed you Gooey Gus. You know that we do not do horror, but gosh diddly darn it if Five Nights has not gotten me into the entire horror genre because of just how amazingly the storyline is told. It goes back into that thing I was saying about how I love it when someone takes a medium and the things you expect them to do with it and they don't do it, they do something even better. So, you know, a video game telling a story through Easter eggs is just amazing, you know? And such a deep story for such a simple concept of a game is just, I love it. I love the Five Nights franchise.
I do too. Although I do have to point out, we all have an incredibly low tolerance to jump scares. So to paint the mental picture of us watching Markiplier, we had it pulled up, we turned the volume down enough to where we could still hear things that were going on. But just barely. Enough that we didn't want to be scared by the jump scares. And we would watch it full screen, but none of us would watch the screen. None of us. We would sit here, like we'd listen, and we'd be like, wow, that sounds interesting. What's happening there? So we'd just listen till the next jump scare, pause it, and then we'd rewind to what we wanted to hear, keeping an eye on the counter so we wouldn't get jump scared. Because even knowing where it wasn't enough for us. We had to make sure that it was, like, muted, and then we would frame by frame it as well. Just so it wasn't too terrifying, because we've talked about this before. I personally am terrible with horror. I hate it. I never grew up with it, and I have zero tolerance.
Yay, he's done.
Yay, Lion!
Or she, I guess. I don't know what gender Lion is, but there's Lion.
With its adorable little heart nose.
I know, I love Lion. Anyway, sorry. Continue you with your horror stuff, or don't. Okay. So by the way, you know those picture sets that are like people who look just like their pets? And it's like, you know, this guy that's like super grumpy with his like super grumpy little pit bull, you know? Or this like really weird thin chick with like a weird nose and her parakeet that's making like the same face, you know? Someone needs to make a photo set out of that by framing through all of the jump scares and seeing Markiplier's reaction to them in real time as they happen. Because every single time Markiplier makes a face that's like just as like, I don't know, like...
It's Markiplier himself is far more animated than any animatronic jump scare.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously though, like frame by frame through it, and like as the thing comes towards the screen, you know, it like slowly opens its mouth, and it opens its mouth like, you know, bigger than anything ever should. Markiplier does the same thing at like the exact same time in almost every single jump scare. It's actually really funny to watch. So, if you can get your YouTube doing the frame by frame plugin, do it. It's amazing. that was a plugin, right? That's not a thing that YouTube just comes with.
Yeah, that was a plugin.
So recommend that plugin, by the way. It's great for doing research on things, or like if you need, say, a reference for a character that there's no still pictures taken like ever, and you need to try to pause at the exact right moment during, you know, an episode of something to get a good character reference. Being able to frame by frame through that, it makes it so much easier.
Absolutely. So we did do, for a lot of our Kickstarter video, we threw in a lot of nerdy references because that is what we do. That is who we are.
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of those, I had to go and take them frame by frame to really see what was going on with a lot of the smaller details. It allowed me to gauge durations on certain transitions. It was allowing me to see, you know, how pieces animated and things like that. It really was invaluable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm so excited for everyone to be able to see that Kickstarter video. If I'm not mistaken, we were planning on... Yeah, we're
gonna post it on our social media.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the 19th, we're going to be posting the link to, I believe, just the video on the social media.
You can't have an ear.
Or are we going to put... Oh, sorry, I just bumped the puff guard into the microphone.
Okay.
But are we going
Does
to...
Onion have ears?
No, but
Are we
this is
going
a
to soft
chibi-dash
launch
silent.
just the video, or the link
It's
to
not
the
gonna look like
Kickstarter preview?
Oh, link to the Kickstarter preview.
Okay, so on the 19th, we'll plan on doing a link so you can see a preview of the Kickstarter the day before it opens. Just a small thank you to you peeps who have been hanging out with us here in the live streams. Well, on social media, and for you peeps in the live streams, the day before that, I think during the live stream, or like at the very end of the
Yeah.
live stream, we'll give
we
you...
could do that.
Yeah, we'll send you a link to just the YouTube video so you can have an extra day to see that.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be super cool, hopefully.
Yay!
Yay, Kickstarter. It's so weird to see it coming together. I mean, every time you do, like, a huge project, it's always really weird getting to the point where you can actually, like, physically see it, and it's not just, like, a thing in your head anymore. And especially something as big as this that's taken all three of us to work on. It's because when you think of it in your head, you don't think of the full picture. You think of the part that you've been working on. So seeing your part come together with everyone else's part is really, really cool. And that's one of the things that's so cool about group projects and stuff that I guess I didn't get in high school. Because I know growing up, so I always wanted to be an animator growing up, but I never wanted to be like a professional animator. I wanted to be a freelance animator because professional animators had to work with other people and they didn't get to work on the entire thing and they didn't have control over everything. And I'm too OCD and I don't trust people enough to be able to do that, or at least I didn't until I started working with you guys full time at this. So being able to actually see that and realize what it's actually like, and that it's not, you know, just it's not a constantly having to worry about people messing stuff up. It's being able to not worry about the parts that you're not doing because you're not doing them, you know, is really cool. It's really cool to see it coming together, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it really is indeed. And I mean, there certainly has been parts of that where it's always going to be harder to work in a group, even if you've been working with them for a long time. There's the definite strengths and weaknesses of all of it. Like, for example, working with the Kickstarter, you know, we had to make sure that we have a lot of open communication between the three of us. We had to sit down and sketch out ideas and take time before even delving into certain aspects just to make sure that we were all on the same page. Yeah. I mean, heck, when did we start storyboarding it was during the summer that we started storyboarding the Kickstarter video.
In Florida.
So that would have been in what? June, July?
I think June.
Was it June?
I think
was it before or after Expo? It was after Expo, right?
Yeah.
Then it would have been July, August.
Okay, but
because
still.
Expo was on the 4th of July. But either way, since July/August we started... that's how we really started most of it, was we just sat down. If you guys want to know video tips with Andrew here, here's the process that we took and the process that I take any clients I have through it, is you start out with a bullet point list of just the general ideas that you want to get across. Just small, single sentence, this is what I want to illustrate in this point. Like, you know, acrylic has more durability than laminate, or something like that. You make those, and then you arrange those, and you weed them out so they have a nice logical progression. Then you go and you fill that out with text, and you go and you revise the text, and you revise the text, and you read it out loud. You make sure it sounds natural. You time it. You make sure that everything has a nice rhythm to it. And once you've decided on the script, then you're able to go in, do the voice work, and after you have the script, you're able to start storyboarding all of the transitions, every one of the scenes that you want to do, and then you're able to start gathering the effects and the assets necessary. You can start planning things out, and then you just start with what you have and make room for what you don't. And then as your assets come together, so will your video, and yeah, you'll be able to get it done eventually.
Yay. Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate the power of storyboarding, but storyboarding is so important. If you guys are doing any sort of video project, please, please, please take the time to storyboard. It is, I know it's tedious, but it's so much easier to do what you're doing after you've storyboarded it. Without anything to physically look at, especially if you're having people, like, help you with any given aspect of anything. You know, if you're having someone make assets for you, you need something they can look at physically. You can't just tell them what you need. Yeah, that's, again, a thing that I really wish I understood more in high school back when I was doing a ton of animation and early college. Was storyboarding is so important. It's just like, you gotta sketch stuff. You have to have not a base, but a template, a reference. You know, it doesn't make you weak or less of an artist to use a reference, because literally every artist uses references. So, there's my 2 bits on that. So, speaking really quick about the thing coming up, am I drawing the wallpaper? Okay. Do you want me to do the,
preliminary sketch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, once Onion's done here, which is gonna come up pretty soon, he's looking so cute. Oh my gosh, I can't handle him. Once Onion's done here, Brittany and I are going to switch places. I'm going to do a preliminary sketch for the background, and then Brittany's going to actually do the coloring of it, because she's faster than I am, but I'm a bit better at posing, I think, maybe? Or maybe she just lets me think that. I'm not sure.
I just don't like doing it.
Okay, she just doesn't like doing it, is the answer. So maybe that, in a way, means I'm better at it because I like doing it? I don't know.
I think there's certainly something to that.
Yeah. Were you actually listening, or is that just the most blanket statement you could say?
No, I really do think that some level of skill is enjoying what you do.
Yeah. I think you forgot to fill in the top of that shadow there. Just really quick. Okay,
wow,
so,
Brittany, how could you?
I know.
I know.
So fixing one shadow, but then Onion is done. Yay! Onion.
Woo!
He's adorable. I'm so glad we got another Onion episode. I love Onion episodes.
Me
Onion's-
too. I'm gonna be honest
weird.
here. I don't know as if I support the more humanization of Onion, because at the same, you know what I mean? Because he's just meant to be this kind of running enigma of he just doesn't fit in anywhere, and he knows he doesn't fit in.
But the thing is, like, his humanization episode made him even weirder, I think, because Steven's like, oh, cool, something I can understand. You have friends and stuff. Okay, what do you do? Okay, well.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to go
Kind
to
of,
the
but
bathroom
they
really quick.
They still were
Well,
trying
then
to,
why don't
you
we
know,
come
make
back?
them
Yeah.
so relatable, and
Yeah.
the whole point of Onion is he's not supposed to be relatable.
I guess, but I don't know. I still enjoyed the episode regardless.
Okay.
True, it was a fun episode.
Okay.
Okay, Brittany.
You can go
Brittany.
behind us.
All right, Brittany
Okay.
has vacated from the drawing seat.
Yay.
Everybody, give her a hand!
Yay.
Yay! Such enthusiastic cheers.
And they were. Okay, what size are we doing?
We're doing 4K. Do you have the file? You should have the file from the last wallpaper.
Maybe.
If not, I can just pull up the resolution for you.
Okay, let me see. File open. Would that be recent?
I would hope so.
Wallpaper background 1.sci?
Yeah. Yep, that should be it. Yep, and there's the
It
size.
was already open even. Whoops.
Oh, well, there you go.
Cool.
I can't remember if we mentioned it before, but just so everyone knows, these wallpapers are going to be up to 4K wallpapers. Just because I know they can be really, really hard to find.
Where's Brittany Oh, here it is. Yep. Save. Okay.
Thank you. I'm just looking at the comment section. Thank you, everyone who actually clapped for Brittany. Oh, that is terrifying.
Where'd she go? Huh? Where'd she come from? Where'd she go?
Is this Sailor Moon and that one side mission in Paper Mario 2? With what was the computer tech?
Tech.
Yeah.
Jeez. Did you already found that freaking tech?
You did.
Peach thing.
Yep.
Which totally was a crack ship, I might add. Oh, good, my phone wants to tell me that Fantasm's streaming right now.
What? We're streaming right now?
Crazy, I know.
Oh no! I better start some actual banter.
I don't know. This whole time I've just been talking like I normally do.
It's true. We just spend our days in front of this microphone and computer. Just all three of us crammed onto this 3-person couch. As we do. Well, no, I was talking about some... Oh, Paper Mario 2. For any of you who have not played it, for the love of everything, please play it.
It is amazing.
It is one of my favorite games, hands down. It does, especially for something that is so formulaic as Mario. I love it. Sorry, Emily's showing me things on her phone.
I'm looking up references.
She's
not just ignoring you.
No, we are actually looking up references right now. And by we, I mean Emily. I am sitting here talking to all you lovely people, and Brittany is in the bathroom. It's vitally important that you remember that. There will be a quiz afterwards. Mm-hmm. But anyways, for something as formulaic as Mario, I really feel that the Paper Marios in general breathed a lot of fresh air and fresh life into it, which I really, really enjoyed. And the fan favorite of all of those is just hands down Paper Mario 2. It added such a fun and a dynamic battle system. I can't even describe it. It was turn-based, but it had real-time elements. It had such fun, vibrant characters. It was back in the time when a game offered you so much to do outside of just the original plot. There were so many places you could explore, secrets you could find. I mean, there was even a partner that you could just not get if you didn't want to.
Or you could get, and it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It offered so much. And it is one of my favorite battle systems, hands down. For those of you who may not have played it, it's turn-based in that your characters have their own designated speed, and that determines basically their order in a round. And then you get to choose your attack or your command, what have you, and then you execute it. But as you're executing it, then you're able to push certain button presses. Like for your hammer, if you charge it up just the right amount, it'll do a lot more damage. If you don't charge it up enough, less damage. If you charge it up too much, maybe you drop the hammer and you just end up like smacking them over the head. And it does nothing with a stick. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was fun. Yeah,
did you bring the water?
It was absolutely amazing. And the fun thing about Paper Mario's 2's battles were that they were performed on a stage as well, and you had to maintain an audience. Not that there was a whole lot you could do to maintain the audience, but you interacted with the audience. Sometimes they'd throw items to help you. Sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes, maybe there would be one that really, really wanted to throw a rock at your face. And so while you're sitting there, getting ready to choose your item, it would say, hey, press the X button if you don't want this rock to the face.
And then you accidentally, push it and kill the guy who's trying to give you, a 1-up, and you're like, no, I needed that.
Right. It was such a fun, versatile system. And unpopular opinion here, I didn't care for Sticker Star.
How is that an unpopular opinion?
That is... some people really liked Sticker Star. I hated the idea of an inventory-based system. I really, really do recommend the first and second Paper Mario. The first Paper Mario, I feel, is simultaneously more generous and less generous. One of the big things is, while I was talking about those reaction commands to, up your damage, is you can also do things like that to... to reduce damage in the second one as well. you can be smart with your dodging. But in the first Paper Mario game, all you can do is press A at the right time to negate 1 point of damage.
In the second game, they let you hit them back while they were attacking.
Right. In the second game, you could do like what you had before, where you could try to dodge it with the A button, or if you press the B button well enough, you could actually deflect their attacks back at them. But the window for it was so much less, and it added a whole lot more versatility in how you could dodge attacks, and if you were really good at them, you could beat whole waves of enemies all the way through the game with just their own attacks. So, yeah, for that, 2 is a little more complicated. I think I would agree with the chat going on here. I would say play the first Paper Mario first, then play the second one, absolutely. And then from there, the choice is yours. Personally, I didn't care for Sticker Star as much.
Super Paper Mario was aight.
Super Paper Mario was fun. It was definitely a different experience, but it was a good experience. I really did enjoy it. For those of you who are looking for them, I know the eShop does have them. If you're not above pirating, then, I mean, that is an option. I'm not going to tell you not to.
Pirating every single stream.
Brittany, I do what I want because a pirate is free.
Yo ho, Trinity.
Being a pirate is so fun to be.
Us so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. No. But, I mean, seriously, where else are you going to get them? You're going to get... you can get a physical copy, and when you can find a reasonable price for it, I'm all for that. I don't believe you should be paying as much for, like, a modern game as you should be for a Nintendo 64 cartridge.
That's true.
And you used to be able to get them for a reasonable price at GameStop, but GameStop has now run absolutely everybody out of the business, and, yeah. So, even if they were to have them, they'd be a ridiculous amount. I'm sorry, I don't support secondhand games from GameStop. I don't. I absolutely hate what GameStop has done to the used video game market. I absolutely detest it. So, I have to say, I'm somewhat excited for the new Paper Mario. What is it? Color Splash for the Wii U. I'm really excited. It looks really visually stunning. The problem that I have with it is it has an inventory system. I've seen a lot of reviews tentatively saying, look, I hated the Sticker Star system, but actually I ended up really liking Color Splash. So I'm hoping that it does well. If it doesn't, then I will just wait for it to get cheaper and then buy it and play it. Sorry, I am cheap.
Well, we are from Utah.
True enough. But I was raised learning how to manage my money well. You know what I mean? Like, we've talked about this with Brittany before, but Emily and I remember growing up, we wanted to buy a video game and not have to wait for Christmas and birthdays. So we had this big old backyard that was literally carpeted with weeds, and these were big weeds as well. Utah features something that was called the Tree of Heaven. It was named when the pioneers first got over to Utah because they grew so large so fast. And what that did was, it created a lot of shade really fast, which is what they needed for their crops. But nowadays, when you don't need that, it just means you get really pain-in-the-butt trees at astonishing speeds.
Okay, we're switching spots again. I'm done with the framework. Brittany's gonna work her magic and make this actually look like something. Which are you doing first, Lapis or Lapras?
Lapis.
Okay. Actually, Lapras is gonna be harder to do.
So anyways, finishing up that story. So, was it 20 each or 20 total? I think it was 20 each. 20 each was what we were offered to weed that entire backyard. And bear in mind, we were in our teens at this point. I was in my teens. You may not have hit teens yet, Emily. But either way, it took us a good, solid week and a half of weeding these things. Some of these had to be chopped with an axe first and then, dug out with a shovel. And that's after removing all the other weeds that were covering up the base. It was a lot of work.
I was also incredibly allergic to these things, so I had to be I had to have the gloves on at all times. I think we only had one pair of gloves, so you just had to deal with your bare hands trying to get them out. Because if I didn't, I would have just terrible rashes like all over. So that is an actual like it bows out.
Oh,
there
I
a
know
little
it does.
bit. Okay. We should just do a Lapras badge while we're in it.
We should. Well,
I
we'll
don't-
add it
Am I
later
the
on.
only one who really wanted a Lapras as a kid after watching the Orange Islands?
I really did. I loved the Orange Islands.
I know Tracy's kind of become like a joke among everyone, but I didn't mind him back when, I was a kid and I was watching it. I don't know, maybe that's just because I was an artist, and if I would lived in the Pokemon world, I definitely would be drawing Pokemon. I mean, I don't live in the Pokemon world and I'm drawing Pokemon. I just drew one. So, I don't know. I never understood why people gave Tracy such a hard time. Like, Christopher Thorndike, I can see why you gave him a hard time, but I don't think Tracy innately ruined anything.
No, I don't think it's that Tracy ruined anything, and I think Tracy being added as a character wouldn't have been any big deal. It's the fact that Tracy replaced Brock,
That
and
is
everyone
true,
loved
yeah.
Brock. I still love Brock. Brock was
I had
amazing.
a crush on Brock. I still have a crush on Brock.
I had a crush on Sabrina.
Oh my gosh, you're so gay.
I am, yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun. Also, finishing up the weed pulling story, after we had that money, it wasn't just that we worked for the money, it was that we realized, okay, we're going to be able to buy one game with this. So we researched, like, playtime on games, and we called around to various stores to get the pricing on the different ones, just so that we could make sure we had the absolute most bang for our buck, something that would be enjoyable for us for the longest amount of time. And we went with Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah. And I still have not fully 100%ed it. I need to.
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list. But yes.
Those flippers need to be bigger?
No.
Okay.
It'll unchibi it.
Well, remember, the Lapras has got to be big enough to be holding Lapis back here.
Oh, true. Well, it got really silent.
Yeah, sorry. Andrew's taking care of the chat and I was paying attention to the Lapras here. We're debating on how big we want the fins to be, because does that make it less chibi, but also for composition's sake, it would be better if the two of their heads weren't touching completely, which would mean Lapis needs to be further off to the right, which means that Lapras needs to have a longer shell, which means the fins need to be a bit larger than normally we would do. If we did do a chibi badge, I think we'd probably have smaller fins than we're having right here. But for the sake of composition, Lapras is going to be a little less chibi than she might have otherwise been. Or he, I guess. I guess Lapras can be either, can't they?
I believe so, yes.
Or neither, yeah. Well,
True.
Are there Pokemon that are neither?
Yeah, there are some
Yeah,
Pokemon that are
Mewtwo and-
ungendered.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Specifically legendaries. But there are some that are just generally ungendered as well. I believe Magnemite or something like that just don't have genders.
Nidoran male, for sure.
Doesn't have a gender?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah, so, if anyone has not already guessed, by the way, our wallpaper we're drawing right now is Lapis on a Lapras, because we're just hilarious and definitely the first ones to think of this joke.
Yep. Emily didn't show me a lapis lapras while looking up reference pictures. It was fantastic. No, that wasn't why we were laughing at all. Please.
No. Original the character, do not steal.
Do not steal.
Yeah. So, Halloween is coming up, and I'm having a hard time deciding what to dress up as, because I'm really into Terraria right now, and I really want to be Pumpkin for Halloween, but how mad would Jacob be at me if I was Pumpkin for Halloween and he wasn't?
I think you'd be slightly mad because you still haven't even faced Pumpkin
I know,
yet.
I haven't even seen Pumpkin. All I know is he is obsessed with Pumpkin.
You are still so far away from ever seeing Pumpkin.
Am I really?
You are.
Oh, jeez.
I would say even if we booked it, unless we were bringing in assets from outside worlds, we're probably, I would say minimum 60 hours before Pumpkin.
Jeez, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was that much going on in this game.
Well, yeah, no, that's right. Because it's not even you have to be at a certain combat level before you even get to pumpkin.
Doing her bob face where she's just like, whatever. Oh, please.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to
No,
go
no,
something
not-
for
not
Halloween,
not
but at the same time, we're all coming back from a convention literally the day of. Emily's flying back the night after her convention, which ends on the 30th, and Brittany and I are driving back, 10 hours after our convention that also ends on the 30th. So, I mean, we're going to be tired for Halloween, but much as I want to dress up, much as I want to dress up, we're probably going to stay inside, and let's face it, we're going to have food. For those of you who have seen us in real life, it's no great secret that we love food.
We
really love food.
No, hear me out though. We could dress up and eat food. That's what Halloween is for. It's
That's
about
true.
dressing up and begging people for food and then eating it.
It might be a
I'm
good
not
excuse for
going
me.
trick-or-treating.
Oh no, we're
I'm
not
a
going
22-year-old
trick-or-treating.
woman.
No, we're
with
going.
3.
We're going to the Walmart on University and begging for food.
No.
That's
no.
how adults trick or treat.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Unpopular opinion: Emily's views do not reflect all of ours.
I'm just being funny, guys. I'm not.
I know. I know.
wasn't
Okay,
talking
so
to
there's this
you.
Walmart by our
that's so
house.
cute.
There's this Walmart by our house, okay? And every time we go there, there's someone begging on the street corner. And I mean, I have no problem with beggars. They gotta get money somehow. But I have a problem when they're pulling out their smartphones and getting in their, like, Corvettes and driving away.
It's...
I know, Emily, stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to help.
I think I may, for Halloween, just finally use that as my excuse to get myself a kigurumi.
Maybe. Maybe we should do that.
Just
yeah,
wear
just do
that. Yeah.
kigurumis.
Just
Oh, shoot, but I
kigurumi
want a
Halloween.
kangaroo. I don't want to be a kangaroo for Halloween. That's stupid.
Then don't get the kangaroo
But I want
kigurumi.
that for functionality while we're working.
Emily, functionality be darned. Get the one with adorable snake mittens.
Oh, snake mittens are adorable.
Man, guys.
Yeah, we are though. We are all about the pumpkin.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
we've got
gosh.
so much pumpkin.
I am making a pumpkin thing every day, and none of us are sick of it.
Yeah.
That's not even an exaggeration.
Like, what have we had pumpkin-wise? We had cookies, we had cheesecake, we had 2 pies, we had casserole,
We're
we had
really making-
soup.
We've had stew. We've had
Oh, speaking of us
we've
being
had
fat-
French toast. We've had waffles. We've had pancakes. Sorry, Brittany.
What's
Speaking
the-
of us
the bow
being
out like
fat.
that and the bow down.
What?
It looks like she's either got a bulge or is pregnant right there. It's got a bow down instead of bow out. So you just need to erase that entire line and then go whoop.
There.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, so speaking of us being fat, so we're at the Dollar Tree today, right? Okay.
Jerk.
So we're at the Dollar Tree today, and I'm looking everywhere for Emily and Andrew, right? You know where I found them? You know where I found them? In the whole freaking store. In the candy aisle.
We agreed that we went there to get snacks. Snacks, and we're going to a corn maze tonight, guys. We're taking a day off.
I've been playing Animal Crossing all day.
Yeah, Brittany's been playing Animal Crossing. I've been playing a stupid Animal Crossing-ish app game that, if anyone wants to play and put in my friend code to get a free room, totally do it. Like, PM me later. Anyway, but it's been fun. But no, we've been playing stupid games. We've been watching Voltron. We've been eating sandwiches and the candy we got from the dollar store. And tonight we're going to a corn maze, and hopefully it won't be muddy and very Emperor's New Groove-esque.
Like
in
it was
that
last
regard,
time.
yeah. And it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited. You gotta erase the tiny bit of lapis that's in Lapis's leg there, because it looks weird on the screen here. Sorry, I'm not trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to help you. Yeah, so I'm super excited for the corn maze. I'm also kind of scared because there are clowns.
They're not going to be in the corn maze.
You don't know that.
They wouldn't let people dressed up as They don't let people dressed up go in.
Yeah, they
yeah,
have
but-
regulated entrance, Emily.
Do they?
They
No
do.
one's gonna just
Yes.
sneak into the cornfield from the other side and be a clown?
Yes, I am quite positive.
You're sure?
Yes.
Okay. I'm scared. I'm rightfully scared. I was scared of clowns anyway, and now they're murdering people.
I mean, that's true. The thing you should be worried about is the children of the corn.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they're so scary. Geez, Nostalgia Critic's newest Halloween theme just makes me super, super happy. If you've not checked out the newest theme song for Nostalgia-ween, please go check out Nostalgia Critic. He's amazing.
It definitely made me nostalgic. And if any of you guys have not checked out Nostalgia Critic, he is one of my more favorite internet celebrities. He goes through a lot of old stuff, especially like from the 90s. And he just... some of his older stuff, it was all about tearing it to pieces. So a lot of his newer stuff is about examining both sides and trying to take a little bit more neutral stance, I guess, but only neutral in taking both extremes. For example, like he did one on the new Ghostbusters, which showed, you know, the different sides of it and where people were coming from it, and his whole takeaway on, you know, the politics of it all as well. It was quite interesting. But yes, if you haven't to look up Nostalgia Critic, I highly recommend looking up his animated Titanic ones.
Oh, my
That is
gosh.
probably one of the better places to start. All 3 of the animated Titanics, by the way. There are 3 that he reviews, and each is just magical.
You're going to want to do right there, otherwise it's not going to select right there. There you go. Sorry, I'm just trying to help Brittany. Don't make that face at me. I'm trying to help Brittany, like, with these.
Oh no, I was doing that
things.
face because I was trying to draw her face.
Oh, okay. No, Brittany was making the Bob face at me, and I thought it was because she was mad at me. No, it's because she's drawing the Bob face right now. That's the angry face, by the way, is the Bob face. Very important.
Very.
I love Steven Universe. I'm so excited for the Halloween special, which should be... Is that this week? Next week? Oh, geez, we haven't seen the new Ruby trailer.
Oh, no, we haven't.
Should watch that. Geez, that came out last week.
Yeah.
We've been so busy. I don't even know any things that are happening anymore. I know they announced season 2 of Voltron starting on January 20th, right? Which, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to... Are we gonna try to draw Voltron before Bonsai?
Yes, we are.
So I think what we're going to end up doing is... Bonsai is... Is Bonsai this weekend or next weekend?
Next weekend.
Oh, then we'll be drawing Voltron before Bonsai anyway.
Oh.
Voltron's next week.
Yeah, then yeah.
Cool. So next week we're going to draw Voltron. However, Voltron will not be Kickstarter exclusive because I just want to have Voltron badges. So.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, sorry. Pidge is the most... They're all so sassy. I love them. But Pidge is my favorite right now. I don't know, that opinion may change as we get further into the series. I say, like, there's more than, like, 4 episodes left. But, I don't know, I'm really enjoying it thus far. But anyway, so the Voltron badges will be available as laminate as well as acrylic for the, there are words that I'm trying to say, for the Kickstarter. But we're gonna have them available also as laminate because Voltron's freaking awesome, and I want to make some, and I want to have a little Pidge on me during frick Bonsai. So, there you go. That's my reasoning. I do what I want.
Because a pirate is free. Props to the chat for suggesting that we should draw me with a little parrot and an eye patch, since I am a pirate and a pirate is free.
Oh my gosh!
Can we please have a little...
No,
Brittany?
not that one. Do the one that's giving a thumbs up.
No, not right now. We'll do it later. I think we should have little Halloween chibis of us for
gosh,
Halloween.
Let's do it. Can I really
All right.
Pumpkin? I don't know. Anyone have any suggestions for what I should be for Halloween? Because I don't know. Because you already got Andrews. Give Brittany and I something to be.
Yeah, let us know in the chat what we should do, and then on Halloween, on our social media, we will have little costume.
Chibis.
Wow, I am sorry, my brain is not working right now. Can you tell I was up till 5 all night, all morning, all time increment? Anyways, But yeah, let us know what costumes we should wear, and we'll have us in costumes. We'll put up some pictures of them, wishing everyone a happy Halloween.
Oh, also, I think we should ask kindly for permission to post the Shining Armor fan art, because it's one of my favorite things in the entire world.
It is phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, I look at it like twice a day. It's so great. Anyway, but yeah, please give me some ideas, because I don't know, it's so important to me, but I never actually, like, think about it. Like, I think about all of these cool costumes I want to do, and it's the same with cosplay, too. Cosplay and Halloween, I think of all these cool things I want to do, and I think about it the entire time and never actually do any planning. And then by the time I actually decide, like, because I have, like, 50 things I want to do, and when I actually decide, it's too late, you know? Like, the thing's 2 days away, so I'm like, oh, well, I can just whip up a Hamtaro really quick. So, I'm Hamtaro this year. That's what happened last year, and this year probably the same thing will happen, because I don't know, I really want to do a cool 3-person cosplay since we got the 3 of us, you know? But, like, what 3-person cosplays are there that haven't already been done, you know?
That's true. We tried to come up with some.
Yeah, I still like that one idea. I think we might do it even though it's already been done, like, several times, just because what a great friggin' idea. I wonder if we could pull off a Dodrio. The bird with the 3 heads.
Dodrio?
Would be an upside down Dodrio.
It was better than my thought was we could be the 3-headed dragon from, like, the old first Zelda game, where, like, the heads were all just, like, wandering around, so we each just have, like, this tube back to this main body, and to go anywhere we have to pull it around, just have it on wheels.
Yeah, that doesn't
It would
seem
be
like
stupid.
A thing that would work very well.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my goodness. I think we might have the winning costume idea here. Sonic Underground.
I already
Oh my
suggested that to
gosh.
Brittany and she said no.
What?
I said not for a cosplay.
Oh,
Didn't
but
say
for Halloween we can do it? Okay, cool. So Brittany and I will be Sonic and Manic, and Andrew will be Sonya, clearly. That's the way it's gotta be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Give us your best Sonya voice, Andrew.
That is as high as my voice goes. I'm sorry. Like, I normally speak, like, higher pitch than where I really comfortably should. Like, if I'm lazy, you guys have heard if I'm lazy, my voice...
Oh, yeah.
It's probably somewhere around here.
Yeah.
This is just me
Get
talking,
up
just
close
That's
normal.
night, Andrew.
This is just me talking, just normal. But, I mean, if I'm doing something really animated, I'll do a lot more tonal inflections. It's a lot higher pitch, all of that fun stuff.
Well, I think all of us kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
I try to be a bit higher pitched for your live streaming because I think it picks up better. There's something about, like, wavelength traveling and whatnot. Some sciencey mumbo jumbo. I almost sounded really smart there, and then I was like, I don't care.
Sciencey mumbo jumbo.
Bartleby doesn't care. Why? The shading's weird there, Brittany, having it. It looks weird. Don't hit me. Just to recap, Brittany and I are very in love, and everything's okay. I'm just telling her that her shading on Lapis's shirt looks weird.
Oh, I thought you said Lapris's shirt.
Oh yeah, Lapis's shirt looks even weirder.
Yeah.
My gosh, Brittany, you forgot to put Lapis's shirt on. She's
Oh
naked.
no!
Oh no, Brittany, this was supposed to be a PG stream.
No, you've ruined everything. You need to form Voltron.
Ugh.
It's the answer for
Ugh.
everything.
Ugh. Ugh.
So, does Voltron have, like, I mean, I don't know, like, of all the series to have Prince of Tennis Syndrome, I feel like Voltron's a good one, but I feel like there's going to be some episode where it's like, help, I've fallen and I can't get up, form Voltron, you know, because that's, like, always the answer.
That is always the
Yeah.
It's true. I was actually really excited, not to give away too many spoilers, but in one of the first episodes, one of the earlier episodes, they're facing an enemy who basically has a long-distance weapon, but it's also very good with up-close fighting, and they had a real problem with trying to juggle the two. So I really thought it was actually going to be something cool of, like, maybe Voltron is a bunch of different combinations. Maybe they're going to split into, like, a 3-2 formation, so 2 will be able to take care of the long-distance weapon, and 3 will be able to take care of the up-close one. But no, it's just... Voltron needs to be better at being Voltron.
Yeah, well, they kind of... have this alien tech that's got all the instructions written in a language they don't understand, that they just barely started trying to learn how to use, and I mean, you can't really blame them for not being the best at it.
It's true. And at least they do add a little bit more realism to it than Gurren Lagann.
Right.
Like, let's face it. Voltron is at least like, hey, they're communicating telepathically. They're showing me, you know, shapes and ideas for maneuvers. There's an actual link with them. Gurren Lagann was just like, it responds to my manliness and spiral power.
I love Gurren Lagann.
Oh, by the way, do you want to tell everyone what you've discovered about Princess Form Voltron?
About Princess Form Voltron?
Yeah.
Oh. For those of you who have seen Voltron, this is my headcanon here. The princess that is, you know, over the head of the 5 paladins.
We'll learn her name at some point. I just
Yeah,
don't know it.
I don't
say
know
it
it so
enough.
far.
I keep wanting to call her
But-
Euphemia, honestly.
But anyways, my headcanon is that she is somehow the love child of Nia from Gurren Lagann and Princess whatever her name was from Atlantis.
It's the only thing that makes sense, really.
It really is.
I don't know, because, like, the eyes, how can you do, like, that exact color of blue eyes with pink in the middle and be like, oh yeah, no, it's definitely not a ripoff of Nia. By the way, she's gonna fight in space. You know? Like,
Yeah. No, it had that. It had the white, like, lighter hair
that's so cute.
with
man.
going with the darker skin and the pointy ears. Yeah, it just felt very reminiscent of those two.
Yeah. It's good. We had a part where we were trying to figure out what the heck was happening with her arms, because, like, it looked like they drew her arms twice, but it turned out it was just that the color of the inside of her, not her skirt, her cape, when it's shaded just right, is, like, the exact color as her skin. So there's just certain shots, there are certain shots where it kind of just cuts off at the waist and you can't see where her arms go, and it's shaded just right that it looks like she has this tiny little thin set of arms inside her arms. It's like, what is this? Like, yeah, it's just me being weird.
Maybe. Although this has taught Emily the joys known as watching a show with Andrew, because my video editingness definitely kicks in.
Oh no,
I have to pause every so often to point things out, like during certain fight scenes. Particle systems are something that are used a lot in videos, and in Voltron they're used especially a lot for impacts with the ground. It's made to look, you know, like dirt flying up. It's made to make it look very natural. But I had to pause and go back and be like, look here, right? They're animating at 24 frames per second, but yet the particles are moving at 30. Look, the frame rates are mismatched. And when you look at it, yes, it's very, very obvious. But every single time, Brittany is just like, how did you notice that? That was a single frame something, or that was just something in the background. And it's because video editing is a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
You have to get good at picking up on stuff like this. You have to get good at, you know, looking at a final effect and trying to realize all the layers that go into it and all of that. It's great to have a critical eye for it, but sometimes it's also terrible because I will get distracted while even just watching shows that I love.
Yeah. Well, and at the same time, though, we watched Ruby together, and I
true.
found so many more animation flaws in that show than you did. But that's because they weren't, like, special effect flaws, they were character model flaws. The character models in Ruby are not well made. Like, I'm sorry, you cannot look at Season 1 Yang's hair and be like, that's professional. Like, it's...
True.
Yeah.
Granted,
It's a
Granted.
mess.
they have improved over every season,
yeah, no.
especially with 3. I'm excited to see what additional improvements they've made for 4.
I am as well. It'll be fun. I'm glad we won't be watching it with a certain person.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to fight about my ships. Sorry, I'm gonna ship stuff. When I watch things, I just inherently ship things. I am a shipper. That is what I do. So just as a way of explanation, I got into a huge fight with someone that just about shipping stuff, and
Specifically
kinda-
Bumblebee.
Specifically Bumblebee, yeah, and it's just left this whole huge sour taste for Ruby in general in my mouth. So I'm looking forward to watching more of it and being able to just ship to my heart's content and not have any comments going on during which about that. And hopefully I can get a little less salty about the whole thing. Because, like, I do like Ruby, but I'm having a hard time getting back into it, you know? Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I'm petty. Apparently.
We were actually talking in the chat about how unfortunate it is when you have people who just have an initial bad impression about something and then from there are unwilling to give it further shots and just they immediately judge it. The example I gave was actually same friend we were trying to show Devil's a Part-Timer, and said friend just could not get over the what was it, demonic or whatever the made up language was.
Which was supposed to sound stupid.
Right, that was kind of the point of it, and if you took it in stride, it was actually quite funny. But things like that happen all the time, and I know we even have stuff like that with each other. Like I know, for example, I don't care for Adventure Time, and Emily's kind of like, I feel if you gave it, a real good shot, you'd come to like it. And, I kind of feel the same thing about, like, even we were talking about Fate Stay. I feel you guys didn't give it enough of a chance
At the same time, we really
for it. But
didn't
at the
have
same
time
time, yeah,
for
you didn't
it.
really have time
Yeah.
to give it a chance either. We may revisit it at some point.
Yeah, well, and I think that same friend we were talking about, Fate's Day in particular, was saying that we started it wrong. We weren't supposed to start with Fate's Day Re-Unlimited Blade Works, because when you do, it starts out really slow and kind of assumes that you already have the character development from having seen the other series first. So I think if we watch that series first and already have the connection with the characters, it might be a bit better.
Quite possibly.
I know. I also feel like it's originally a game, right? So maybe I'd rather just play the game. I wonder if there's an English patch?
The problem with that is it's a visual novel. It's not a standard game.
Oh,
I don't think you would enjoy that as much.
We could watch the visual novel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's an interactive. It's like a dating sim visual novel.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think is exactly your cup of tea. I've played like one or two, and I've not cared for them incredibly.
Mm-hmm.
I
Which
don't know.
ones have you played?
I think they were just stupid Flash ones back in the day, actually.
Oh, jeez, I didn't know Flash
Yeah.
did those.
No, some people did like Legend of Zelda dating sim. I was like, oh, a Legend of Zelda Flash game.
Yeah, because you didn't know any better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, I played this one Flash game once. This is completely off topic. I played a My Little Portal Flash game. So you were Twilight Sparkle going through the test chambers, which was just amazing. But this stupid Flash game, the final level, I could not for the life of me figure it out. It was just driving me crazy, because there was this spot where you were on a platform, and there was a thing that would kill you from above, and there was fire from below, and you couldn't do anything with portals to get through it. You were like trying to dodge it on this tiny platform, and it was literally impossible, and I was freaking out one time just attempting this. It was like my 70th time trying to do this, and I fell off the platform from the front, and my freaking chin on my sprite got stuck on the platform. It turned out that's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to hang from your chin on the platform so that you were just above the lava, or the fire or whatever, but weren't getting hit by the laser. That's how you were supposed to solve that puzzle. And you had never done anything like this earlier in the game. There was nothing to tell you that your chin has its own freaking... What's the word I'm looking for?
Hitbox?
Hitbox, yeah. It just... I was so infuriated. Like, I feel like I don't feel like I accomplished anything beating this game, because I beat it by accident.
Yeah, so in fun stories with Emily and Portal time, when Emily played the original Portal, I was in college. They came down for a couple days to help me move my stuff back up for the summer semester. And I was staying with a friend at that point, and that friend had days earlier introduced me to the first Portal, and it was short, and so Emily decided to go through and play Portal as well at about 2 in the morning.
Me play Portal.
True enough, because I figured you'd enjoy it, and I was right.
It, yeah.
But the best part was when she was being first introduced to turrets, which for anyone and everyone who has played Portal knows, your first time meeting a turret is terrifying. You will get shot to death and then be terrified to ever make eye contact with one ever again.
Yeah.
So anyways, Emily's first time meeting one, in that first maze. Sorry, give me a sec.
Okay.
You
My
can finish this
my
story.
first time meeting a turret, I had something shooting at me, and my instincts from other shooting games, kicked in, and I went back behind a wall and readied my weapon and went around the wall quickly and shot it. All good, right? Should have killed it. Forgot I was in a Portal game. It dropped down from the ceiling right on top of me.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't right on top of you either. It was right in front of you, this little,
was it?
ledge in front. So you got to turn around just to see a turret flying in your face and shoot you dead. This was 2 a.m. We had 2 families worth of people that were all asleep, and Emily screamed bloody murder at the top of her lungs.
Horrifying.
Everyone was there. It was
Are you
an
trying to make me think?
experience.
'Cause I've got the thing. It's in set 1.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's in set 1. Just open set 1.
Oh, thank you.
Ta-da.
Yay, there's the thing.
I made the thing. If you need, I can make a higher res one for you. Or is that about what you're looking for?
That's not what I'm looking for.
Okay, cool.
Is that ocean enough? Do you want to do a layer of just like cute little chibi waves going over the front of first? Yeah, because Latras's fins usually aren't visible in water.
I mean, I can do this.
Sorry, we're talking about what we want to do with the wallpaper here. We want to keep it kind of the same stylistically to the other one, but we're also trying to decide how to, like that type
To
thing.
spruce it up
Just
a bit.
like a semi-transparent thing so you can still see all that work you did there, but not like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, we're almost done. Yay!
Look at us. We're a half hour ahead of schedule,
that's
even.
a half hour more we can spend in the corner.
And corn maze, yeah. And sleeping.
Bigger...
Sweet, lovely, beautiful sleep. I remember as a child when I hated going to sleep. And to be honest, when I'm in project mode, I will... when I go to sleep, it gets later and later, because sleep starts to feel like a waste of time to me.
Yeah.
And when I do sleep, I take it as a necessity. I am sleeping for the sake of getting back to work and being more effective and efficient at my work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get incredibly single-minded when I'm focused on something.
Yeah, he's been that way for the last, 2 weeks. That's why we haven't been able to do anything. Or why he hasn't been able to, do anything. Because he's been working on this video, which I'm so excited again for you guys to see. It's going to be just amazing. It's turned out so unbelievably well.
And next week, you guys get to see it. I'm excited.
Jeez, that's soon already. That's so
I
crazy.
know.
At the same time, though, we've got 10 days left to really perfect our actual site and get our catalog system up and running before we actually launch the Kickstarter. And that's way more time than I had previously thought we would have, yeah.
Yeah, we have been planning this thing out for months. And we've been slowly, steadily working towards it. Mm-hmm. The joke has been guys, with all the time we've been putting into the Kickstarter, we should have just gotten part-time jobs.
Right.
Which, is not true.
Yeah,
but
it totally is.
It certainly has felt like a job in and of itself.
Oh, it has definitely been a job. But it's been fun, though. And it's made something cool. You can show off to people your cool video editing
You guys
skills.
can as well, because you guys did assets for it as well.
That's true.
We tried to really add a blend of chibi with a dash of nerdy and pop gaming culture. Well, I wouldn't say pop gaming, more retro gaming culture.
I guess so, yeah, huh?
More
No,
classic than retro. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
guys will see.
We don't really have any, app games in there. What app game would you be?
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush, Angry Birds.
You know what? I'm sure we could have if the video were longer, but we tried to keep it short.
Well, we also did stuff that we're really into, and I'm not really into
Nor am I, really.
I know, I wasn't a Candy Crush until it was like, you need to have Facebook friends to continue. I was like, I don't even have real friends. Anyway,
Let alone
Facebook friends. I know. That is adorable.
That is adorable,
Brittany.
and I love it.
Love it. All right, there's the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right. Just as the reminder, since we haven't done a reminder in a couple weeks, the badges we drew, which we'll end with showing these as well. The badges and the wallpaper, they're all available on the Kickstarter, which launches the 20th of this month. That's next week, guys. Right around the corner. The badges will be available as acrylics, double-sided. Very nice. And the wallpapers will be available in a couple different sizes, all the way up to 4K. We're trying to make them nice, future-proof, ultra-high definition for you guys, because we know how hard those can be to find. So, yeah, I think that's all for us for this week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next week. Pay attention for those of you who have been checking the schedule. We're going to be putting another series in place of Voltron, and we're gonna. Are we?
Voltron's next week. That's before Bonsai.
Oh yeah. Are we just going to be drawing that like normal then, though?
Oh. I don't know.
We'll be figuring it out for next week.
Draw something instead of live streaming Voltron, especially since we might be doing 2 separate sets of Voltron. One that you can actually like form Voltron with.
Indeed, we're going to be looking into it. So.
Very wonderful.
Yep. So pay attention to all that, and thank you guys so much for joining us this week. And we'll hope to see you guys next week. All right.
Okay,
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I gotta close the bye.
Bye. Thank